All right. How is everybody doing? Steve with MSP Webinars. I just want to do a quick recap of yesterday's webinar, okay? So yesterday we had Aparavi and we had Jonathan, let's see if I do this correctly, Calmes, I hope. So he came and he spoke with us about the Aparavi backup tool. It's actually a backup and archiving tool. So Jonathan made it pretty clear that his tool is great at doing one thing very well, and that's storing data. And they continually refer to it as unstructured data, which, I mean, up until 2 minutes before the webinar, I had no idea what he was talking about. I think it's okay if you don't know what I'm talking about too when I say unstructured data. Apparently, structured data is basically a database. Databases are structured, makes it very easy to find things within the database. Unstructured data, typically for us MSPs, files and folders. So, when I heard unstructured data, I'm thinking, oh great, there's just going to be a big clump of files with no folder structure whatsoever. But that's not what it means. So, basically how it works is they will store things in the cloud. So they're cloud agnostic. So they don't store things on their own infrastructure. So keep that in mind when you're pricing out this tool. They'll store things in Amazon EC2 or the AWS infrastructure. I know it's not EC2, it's S3. Sorry. They'll store things on Amazon S3. They'll store things on an Azure disk. They'll store things in Wasabi. And there's like another place or two that they included. As of right now, Backblaze B2 is not supported, but they know they know we want it. The reason it's not supported at this time is Backblaze B2 uses a different version of the AWS security authentication, so it's on version 2, while everything that they do supports version 4. I don't want you to think that means Backblaze is less secure. It may be, I don't know, but he did not imply that. In fact, he said, don't worry, your Backblaze stuff, I'm pretty sure is safe. Their software doesn't support Backblaze at this time. So, pricing for the software, I'll get to in a minute. I feel like I need to explain the software a little better. So the software is going to back up your files and folders and basically everything that you've got on a client server. It is not going to do disaster recovery, business continuity type stuff. So if you need the ability to spin up a VM of a client server, Jonathan said, by all means, go out, get Veeam, get a data solution, whatever it is that your company likes, use that for your DR. But when you're speccing out your business continuity appliance, maybe you don't need to get one that has as much storage as you have in the past, because now you've got the ability to use something else for the long-term storage. That's what Aparavi wants to help you do, is manage that long-term, especially if you've got clients that want compliance. They want to keep their data for 5 years, 7 years, longer. Aparavi is going to help you manage and maintain all of that. Here's where it also gets pretty cool. Let's say you're storing things in Amazon or Azure right now, and they do finally release Backblaze B2. Let's say that's 3 years from now, okay? And you've got a 5-year retention policy set. You can tell Aparavi to not put a single new file into the AWS infrastructure and start putting things over in Backblaze B2. What that's going to look like is the software knows where it's kept everything. So if you need to recover a file from 2 or 3 years ago, it knows exactly where it's at. It knows how to recover it. You don't have to go searching for things from one system to another. That also means that it's going to do a slow trickle migration from AWS to B2. So it's putting those new versions of files in B2 for you, and it is slowly going to prune out the aged out files from AWS. So all those files that are past the retention policy that need to get deleted. One second. I just keep needing to clear my throat. Sorry about that. So all those files that age out, that are no longer needed in AWS, Aparavi is simply deleting those files from AWS. And from there, you have your newer versions in B2. So what does this look like? So let's say we're at year 3, and we said, oh, we can switch to B2. It's so much cheaper. So year 6, we have things in both places, right? Because at year 3, we had things in AWS, and we have that 5-year retention policy we were talking about. Year 6, we have things in both places. Now, if you wanted to do just a full migration from AWS to B2, they said they do support it. And with the pricing of B2, it may be advantageous to do that. You'd have to look at the price calculators and figure out what's going to make sense for you or your client at the end of the day. But they will support that type of stuff. So that's what Aparavi is designed to do, is that long-term storage and management of files. It also has a really fantastic search feature built into it. So not only is it going to search the file name, but it's going to search any, I'm going to call them meta tags, because I can't think of what you call it in Windows or in Linux, where you can tag the files, and it's also going to search the file contents itself. So if you've got a document that has, and I use this example in the webinar, if you've got a document that has the word onomatopoeia, and you can actually successfully spell that word in the search, and it was spelled right in the document, you can actually find that document, even though the document may be named Taylor IT Group Marketing Material .docx. So their search algorithm stuff, it works very well. So I mentioned pricing earlier. Their I'm going to call it MSRP is $25 per terabyte per month with a minimum of 10 terabytes. So here's where I start to get a little about the software, because in my opinion, we're talking about something that should be licensed per device, because the software isn't storing any data at all. So I'm looking at it as, why aren't I just paying $20 a server or $25 a server? I'll do the minimum 10 servers if you guys are insisting you need to make $250 a month from each partner. That isn't my problem. My problem is, what does it matter if my server has 1 terabyte or 50 terabytes? Your software, it's just software. We're storing it in Amazon, so we have to pay them the per gigabyte fees, or whoever, right? So that's where I start to get a little iffy on the price. They did say that they would be willing to consider, and it would be like a case-by-case scenario. It would have to be a win-win, I get it. They're in business to make money. I just don't know that I'm on board with their pricing model, basing it on the amount of storage that's being protected, and that is a distinction I want to make. It is protected storage. So if your server has 10 let's just say 10 terabytes on it. Now, how do I word this? So let's say your server has 10 terabytes and you got that 5 years of retention, and these files are updated a lot. So you may end up with, 60 terabytes in your online storage, right? They're not charging you based on the 60, they're charging you based on the 10. Okay, so they're charging you based on what's actually on that server. And if files are getting printed off the server, they're still being retained in the cloud, but if you're deleting files from the server and it's reducing, I believe the price on that reduces as well. So their website, I'm looking at the site, it says $25 per terabyte per month with a minimum 10 terabytes. So that works out to $250 a month, $3,000 a year. The website also shows it is $2,500 per year. So it seems to me if you pay yearly, you get a 2-month break. Which, when we're talking about $500 at that point for 10 terabytes of data, that's a pretty big chunk of change. So who the heck is Aparavi? I do want to talk about this for a moment too. Their CTO, Chief Technology Officer, is Rod Christensen, and Rod considers himself a backup engineer. He doesn't consider himself like a software engineer or anything like that. He considers himself a backup engineer. And what does that look like? He was the CTO over at Yosemite from 96 to 06. He was the VP of Advanced Development at Novastore for a couple years after that. He moved over to CA and worked on the ArcServe, Exosoft, and Irwin product lines. And he was at CA for, it looks like, over 6 years. And then he became the lead over at ArcServe as well with CA. From there, he went to Artisan Infrastructure, which I'm not familiar with that one, to be completely honest, but they have a website. If you look up Artisan Infrastructure, they have neverfail.com. So he also helped to build that tool. He went back to Novastore for a few more years, and now he's been with Aparavi for almost 2 years, since November of 2016. Year and a half, we'll call it. Sorry. So, Rod has been around the block. He's been doing backups for over 20 years. So, this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to backups. So, I would say that this should lend some serious credit to Aparavi for being a tool that's being built by a guy that has been doing this for 20 years when he started with Aparavi. What else is there to cover with this product? They have an MSP, I don't remember what they're calling it. Apparently they just announced it for the first time yesterday on my webinar, which I was pretty excited. Like, oh, cool! I get to be the first. I love being the first. So they have an MSP program now. If I recall correctly from the webinar, they mentioned that it was 30% off. So basically, we're buying it for 30% off, and we're able to resell it to our client. If we want to resell it for MSRP, go for it. If you want to sell it for less, or if you think you can sell it for more, go for it. Looking at what was initially written here, and I need to confirm because this is something that he wrote down a couple months ago. So, and then I apologize. I failed to check on this. MSP webinars will act as the unveiling of our new partner program. Attendees will receive 1 terabyte of free usage forever, along with 20% discount on all packages. So I don't know if the 20% is what got changed into the 30% for the MSP partner program, or if we're also getting an additional 20% off of the new price. So if it was 25 a terabyte and it dropped $750, math is hard at this early of a time. Hold on, let me open up calculator. Ooh, I've got it open already. It's 25 times 0.7 would be $1750. that we're paying per terabyte. So I don't know if we're multiplying that by 0.8 and we're actually paying 14. I don't know. I do need to clarify that. I will get back to you guys with an official answer on that to determine if this is actually an MSP Webinars deal or if this is just a partner program that they're putting out. So we went almost to the very end with questions. We had some awesome questions yesterday. So if you missed the Q&A, feel free to hop in there and check that out, because there was some really great information in there. There were some good questions. I asked, I think, the toughest question, and their office, I love this, man. Their office is a dog-friendly office. So as soon as I asked the toughest question, his dog started barking. So he got saved by the bark. But he did end up answering. So go check out the webinar. Check out the product. I mean, you get 60 days of a trial to throw as much data as you want at it. So if you want to check it out and see if it's going to be a good archiving solution for you or for your clients, by all means, check out a trial. If you want to speak with Jonathan directly, I'm happy to give you his contact information so you can communicate with him. That's all I've got, guys. You're probably wondering, would I buy it? Probably not. And this isn't a dig at Aparavi. I just don't have any situations where I need that long-term archival storage, or that I need something like this. I'm a Datto guy. So my servers that I need to do the business continuity, I just put a Datto appliance in there and I'm happy. And you know, my clients get 3 to 6 months of, let's be honest, it's closer to 3 of retention, and they're happy with that. And I've been very blessed that my security measures I've got in place have protected all of my managed clients from ever getting any type of crypto locker or, you know, just crapware, I'll call it, to where it's changing their files. I've thankfully never had a client that has been infiltrated to the point where it just sat there for months or even a year and then started encrypting files. So yeah, I mean, I haven't had to worry about something where I needed such long-term retention. So that's my take on it. I do think it's a pretty cool software. I love the concept of it. It gets my seal of approval if it's the type of software that you need for your business or for your clients. It's just not something that I need. So there's my honest opinion there. I hope you've appreciated this, guys. I'm going to start doing this exact same thing. It may not always be the next morning at 6 in the morning. Excuse me. But I am going to start doing this for each of the tools that we have vendors come on and showcase each week. So for those of you interested, next week we're doing a roundtable. And I'm actually going to open that back up to the public, because I really feel like, you know, the more people we can get in on a roundtable, the better it's going to be for everyone. So if, you know, we get 30 or 40 people, I think it's going to be a fantastic tool for everyone to be able to take advantage of. So thanks for watching. Check out Aparavi. Check out all the other YouTube videos I've got up here. Like and subscribe to this video, and you all have yourselves a great weekend. Thanks, guys.